time to meet our next guest. Please give a big welcome to Carlton's Chris Yarran. Welcome to the show, Chris. And Chris, in your first season with the Blues last year, did you feel any pressure as being a first-round draft pick at all?
I think there was too much pressure on me last year, and I was picking up number 6 last year, so I think it's a bit too much to have that much pressure on it. I was 17 at the time still, so I was pretty young still, but I mean this year I adapted well to the AFL footy. I played every game so far, so hit a bit of form early, so hopefully I can continue that throughout the year.
Yep. And you actually grew up in the same street as the West Coast Livewire, Nick Natanui and Michael Walters. How close were you to those guys, and do you still keep in touch now?
Yeah, pretty regular. Nico's he's come over to Melbourne and played a few games over here, so I got the same manager as him, so we keep in regular contact, so which is a good thing. But I haven't hardly spoken to Michael Walters lately, so I mean every time I go home, which I rarely go home now these days, but when I can, I guess I can catch up with them. So.
Catch up with the boys.
Yeah.
And you've spent a lot of time in the forward line this year, Chris. Is that where you prefer to play?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not that fit to go into midfield at the moment, but hopefully in a year or so I can get my fitness level up to a midfield standard and hopefully play along Chrissy Judd and Mark Murphy, so which should be good.
And Satanta, is that his name?
Yep,
Satanta? Yeah, I help him. I'm sorry, I just don't know how to pronounce that name properly. Has been in great form so far this year. Has he surprised you?
He has, I guess. I think it's a big shoe to fill with Brendan Favola gone, but he's come along pretty good, and it's also good to have me, Jeffrey and Eddie Betts along as well. So yeah, it's pretty good to have 3 Indigenous boys up there. It really helps, and
yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's good for Indigenous guys out there, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So, Chris, you've played every single game this year and you've kicked 11 goals. Do you think you're in good form? Yeah,
I have. I think I won the rising star for round 1, so which is a good boost for me throughout the year. So, yeah, hopefully I can keep my form up and keep my spot in the team, and yeah, hopefully we can get a win over St Kilda this week.
Yeah,
you'll win, don't worry. Sure. I've got to say, Chris, it's deadly to have another black fella from WA sitting next to me. I feel like I'm at home now.
But now tell us, black fellas here.
Oh, yeah, no offence.
I'm none taken.
Tell us and everyone in the audience and at home there, just where's your mob from? Where are you from?
I grew up in Northern, which is an hour out of Perth, so I'm a fair way away from home, but all my family moved to Perth, just in Midland area. So, a big shout out to my mob in Perth. So, hopefully I get to see you guys soon and come home at the end of the year. So, yeah. So, all my families are Yarrans and Taylors. So, yeah, that's basically. Yeah.
So all the Yarrans and Taylors can claim you.
Yeah.
and number 13 seems to be doing pretty good for you then, eh?
Yeah, number 13 is a good number for some, but unlucky for others, I guess. That's what I've been told. But 13 is a good number. That's why I chose it, and that's the number my dad used to wear when he was playing footy. But so I just thought I'd get it. So.
And Chris, did it take you a while to adjust to Melbourne when you first moved down last year?
I guess it did. I moved over by myself, left all my family and friends over in Perth, but. It's also good to have young Jeffrey Garlick because I've pretty much grown up with him as well. So we come from the same waffle club. So yeah, it was pretty hard at the start, but now I've adapted real well. And guys like Eddie and Jeff are always good mates with me. So yes, and Carlton's a good club, so I wouldn't want to be anywhere else really. So.
So would you say that those boys have been mentors to you?
Yeah, I guess so. They're good mates of mine, but everyone at the club's like really good and like give me. Nice support throughout the year. My 2 years I've been here, so yeah. So Carlton's an awesome club, like I said, but
really my little boy Taj, he's going to have number 19, 38, and 13 on his jumper. I'm just going to squeeze him in like that. We're going to make that up next week. So we love you. We think you're fantastic.
Thank you.
And Chris, was the victory against Geelong an important one for the group in terms of their confidence and self-belief?
Yeah, it was. Geelong's probably one of the best teams going around throughout the 3 or 4 years. So it's good to get a win over Geelong, I guess. And it was a bit disappointing last week, but hopefully we can come back and bounce back against St Kilda this week and get our confidence back up there. And we showed we can match it against the best, like Geelong. So I just got to put 4 quarters of good footy together and it should be good.
Yep. All right, Chris, who's the biggest practical joker down there at the club? Give some inside goss.
Probably Ryan Houlihan. Ryan Houlihan is probably he's probably one of the older guys at the club, but he tells a joke now and then. But Jordan Russell as well, so I've got to put him in there. He's pretty,
And of course,
Go on.
yeah, sorry. And of course, you have that that powerhouse forward there with yourself, Chris, yourself, and Eddie Betts and
Garrett.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
oh well, there's the three of you down there.
Yeah, Jeffrey Garrett.
Gartlett.
Yeah, Gartlett. Yeah, you got
Gartlett,
Colin.
right,
See?
yeah.
See, I was testing you on that. And you've got the three of you down there. Do you hang out a lot? And did Eddie Betts take you under his wing or anything like that?
I guess when I first came over, he kind of took me under his wing, but he's got a girlfriend now, but he doesn't really do anything with the boys, so he's pretty much, she's got him tied underneath her wing, so...
never see them when they start getting girlfriends.
So you hardly see him outside the club. No, he's been pretty good. He's been pretty
That's not bad.
So that means you don't have a girlfriend?
good. Nah, not at all.
Well, single.
There you go, all you
Single.
ladies out there.
All the single ladies out there.
Single ladies out there, Chris Yarran's available. And of course... And of course, Lockie Henderson down there at Carlton has copped some criticism over the last couple of weeks. How have you seen his performance? How have you seen his performance so far this year?
Oh, it's a bit up and down at the start of the year, but he's coming into a new club and he's got to get the respect from all the players, I guess. But he's a good fellow. I've known him for a couple of years now through the AOS, AFL Academy, when we were young. So I've known him for a few years. So he's a good mate of mine. But hopefully he can adapt to our footy style we've got down there at the Blues, and he's going to be a real good player for us throughout the years, I guess. So.
Thank you for that, Chris. Yeah. And stick with us while we take a look at our next game. And of course, it's St Kilda taking on Carlton Monday night at Etihad Stadium. Let's look at the changes for the Saints.
And we've got Graham, Stanley, and Hayne in for St Kilda.
No outs there.
No
of
outs.
course, Clark, the only Indigenous player down there flying the flag. And let's take a look at Carlton now. At the changes.
We've got Stephen Brown, Chris Johnson, Brett Thornton, and Jared White is in. And out, we've got Brock McLean out with a hip injury.
And of course, we have Yarran Betts and that other fella, Gartlett, on the forward there for Carlton.
I love it, Layla.
And Emily, this is your game, so take us through it.
The Saints have been, this is St Kilda and Carlton, the Saints have been very impressive so far without their captain Nick Riewoldt, and they're winning the close game, which good sides do. And their backline is rough, tough and ready. So there's a lot to like about the Saints. They're a very well-drilled unit. Their key players will be Goddard, Kostitsky and Milne. And over to Carlton now. The Blues are coming along nicely so far without Fev. Their backline needs to play better, as it's been their weakness, I think, and the ruck brigade hasn't been flash either. Some key players are Murphy, Judd, of course, and the midfielders need to kick more goals. All up, you'd have to pick the Saints on form, although don't be surprised if Carlton knocks them off.
Okay. Well, Chris, who do you think your opponent will be this week?
I'm not too sure. Doesn't really bother me, I guess.
You must have an
Yeah, a little inkling.
Well, we're going to go through the opposition review tomorrow, so I'll know more tomorrow. But
Yeah.
So won't be surprised if Jason Graham goes to me, but anyone could really say.
Yeah. And what will be the main theme for this weekend's clash?
Probably just to back ourselves and play our style of game, I guess. Just playing at all costs, and hopefully we can get a bit of confidence early on in the game and continue that throughout the game. So.
And do you think you guys can make it into the 8?
Definitely.
Definitely.
And where do you think you can win the game?
This week, I think if our midfield play awesome, but no doubt Chrissy Judd's going to come out fire, and Mark Murphy. Those guys can get their hands on the footy in the midfield and deliver the ball to the forwards better than what they did last week. I think we can come away with the win.
So do you think Clint Jones will get the tagging job on Juddy?
Most likely. We might go to Mark Murphy, you never know. So they might just run Lenny Hayes on Juddy, I guess, but I think Juddy's unstoppable, really, so it doesn't matter who they're playing him.
Well, all the best anyway, Chris, for the game on Monday night. And